What's going on, the gorgeous people of the gorgeous Gorge galaxy? It's Gorgina Gorge, and we back with another video. Gang, gang, gangy, gang, gang, gang. Make sure you're all a part of the Gorge gang. If you ain't gang, you're lame. If you don't want to be lame, like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave some comments down below. You don't know what to comment, tell me I'm gorgeous, cause duh. Hey guys, so today is Vlogmas day 3, and this is going to be a little bit of a more serious video. I just want to sit down and talk to y'all about something that I've officially been going through for a year. This is to help anyone else that might be going through a similar situation. I don't think this is a very common situation, but it's definitely my situation, and it's still something that's really weird and hard for me to cope with. So yeah, if I cry at any point in this video, just close your phone and be like, you're not dealing with that. Because it is really emotional for me. I'm going to try not to cry. But yeah, it's something I don't really talk about often. I have yet to mention this on my channel. So if you've actually been keeping up and following me, you probably don't even know that this has happened to me. So yeah, I think it's an appropriate amount of time to speak on it. I never wanted to like publicly speak about it because it's my real life. And if you know me, I don't really do things for the views and the attention and give too much of my personal life. So yeah, this is a hard one, but it's something I need to talk about. And I don't really have no one to talk about with it because no one gets it. No one understands it. No one really feels what I feel. And I feel like bringing up just the responses I get and the questions that are asked, it just shows me that people don't understand it. So this is my truth and my story and my side of why my son no longer lives with me. So my firstborn son, Mason, he was born back in 2017. That was my first child. And he lived with me all the way up into his 6th birthday of last year. Today, December 3rd, 2024. Today, December 3rd, 2024, is officially his 7th birthday. I just got off the phone with him and told him happy birthday. And that's one of the hardest things for me to do is pick up my phone and FaceTime my son. Because it's like, why do I have to pick up the phone and talk to my kid? Like, I usually just, come in the room, you're there. And now it's like, you're so far away. So my son lives in Texas, which is 1,000 miles away from me, like literally 1,000. If I put it in the maps right now, it's 1,000 miles away. Not in walking distance at all, not even in driving distance. Like, my son is very far from me, and yeah, it's hard. A lot of questions I get asked a lot when people ask me about my son is, have you talked to him? When the last time you talked to him? And it's like, I hate that question because like I said, I don't like that I have to call my son. I don't call him often because for me it's just weird. It's distance. I'm not really a phone call person anyway. Like, I don't like talking on the phone. To me, I feel that's so unintimate, if that makes sense. Like, talking over the phone doesn't really feel like a real conversation. Even with FaceTime, you can see a person. It's just like, I don't know. That could be a me thing. I don't know if anyone else gets what I'm trying to say, but talking over the phone is not personable enough for me. I want to be in person with you. You get a person's energy and a whole different vibes. Like, talking on the phone does nothing for me. And having to talk on the phone with your child is even more like, just like, this is not right. This is not how our relationship should be. I shouldn't have to only see you through a square, That's crazy. I can't touch you. I can't kiss you. I can't hold you. I can't smell you. Like, you just on the phone. My son lives with his father, who I'm not in a relationship with. I wasn't even in a relationship with his father when I got pregnant, while I was pregnant, before I got pregnant. Like, that's been way done in the past. So that's another reason why I think it's very imperative to have children with people that you plan to be with, especially if you eventually will have more children. Because I always felt like it always was just a rift and a difference between having two different fathers of my children. So Mason only has his dad. Meanwhile, my other children have a dad, and they have that in common. So a lot of people say, it's not a difference. It's not that. You don't know it until you living it and experience it. I've always personally felt like my son was separate in a lot of ways, even when it comes to like the in-laws, families, and all that. It's like they care about my son, but never in the way that they'll care about the kids that they actually share blood with. And I can never be mad about that because it makes sense. Like, this is technically actually your family, so it's probably psychologically and biologically a feeling you're going to have towards your family instead of someone that you don't share that blood with. I feel like it's probably a natural response. Like, and you can't love a child that's not actually yours the same way you're going to love a kid that is yours. That's why me personally, I know I can never be a step parent. Because I mean, some people do it. It is possible. But I know a person like me, I'm not going to ever have that same bond with a kid that didn't come out of me as to a kid that did. Because that's just a whole different experience, carrying that child and giving birth to them. Like, that's yours. Having like similarities, like you can look at that kid and be like, that they look like me, that's completely different from a kid that's not yours, you know. So I always already carried this guilt and felt ashamed, feeling like my son was a black sheep. He was separate. He wasn't paid much attention to, not only by others, but sometimes also by me. Because, you know, when I was in love with my other children's father and there was like all this happening, this felt like family. I felt like, okay, I finally created a family. And unfortunately, not saying I treated my son based upon how I feel about his father, but I don't love that man. And I'm not with that man. Like I said, I wasn't with that man. I had no intentions of it being with that man. I just made a stupid mistake and ended up getting pregnant from it. And, you know, once again, I don't regret my son, but it's like, I wish I had you out of love, not out of a mistake. Because sometimes, and I don't know, it's just not as happy as it could have been. But I made a decision. So I've talked to his dad a lot about saying, like, what if Mason lived with you? You know, like a what if type of thing, hypothetically. Because, like I said, I already felt like I wasn't doing my best as a mother for my son. I already felt like it. Like, it was too much going on. I had my son, and by the time he was 2, I had my second child. Within a year, I had my third child. About a year and a half later, I had my 4th child. So I have Mason and then these 3 little babies. Babies need so much attention, like so much. And I couldn't not give them that. But I always felt like the more I gave myself to these new children, it became harder to give myself to the kid I already had. When it was just me and my son, it was really just me and my son. I just had my son, and he just had me. I fell in love, and the whole dynamic changed. It was me, my son, and another person. So I was already trying to learn how to love this person and still be there for my kid. And I felt like I was doing an okay job. I never put a man before my kid. It was always the 3 of us. And my partner knew that from jump, like, my son not going nowhere. Even my very first date with my partner, I brought my son with me. And every time we went out, my son was with me. It was never, oh, I'm leaving my kid behind to be with this man. Or, oh, I'm trying to work on this. My son gonna have to wait. No, it was always the 3 of us. My son was always there. And I was making it work. Like I said, it didn't get harder until I had more kids. And then also, I had 2 girls. And girls were definitely a different experience than boys. Once again, this is just be me. Everyone's probably like, why? What's the difference? Da, da, da. But for me, it was like a baby girl. It's just, for me, was like a whole new feeling. So I definitely invested a lot of myself into my girls. And, you know, growing up, I wasn't really too girly. My mother is not a feminine person at all. So my daughter was an opportunity for me to kind of like redo what I would wanted to have as a little girl. And even as an adult, I'm so into the whole girly aesthetic, the pink, the cutesiness, because I was deprived of that a lot as a child. So having my daughters felt like I was being saved and given a chance to give that love, you know. So I already invested way more energy and way more time into my daughters. And, you know, for me, I always found it harder to bond with my son because you're a boy. I'm a woman. I'm a very effeminate woman. And like, you know, it just always was like kind of a difference. I have my chill ways. Like, I don't consider my personality very girly. Like, I'm not a girly person, but I like girly stuff. Girly stuff makes me excited. Like, I don't do the makeup and the hair, and I'm not into all like the gossip and the, like, you know how feminine women are. I'm not really that per se, but I'm still not a man, and I can't be a man. And it's always hard to know like how to manage being a mother to a boy, because I don't really know what a man is and what a man's supposed to be. Like, I didn't really understand that, and it's hard. So my bond with my daughters, of course, became way more closer than with my son. Never intentionally, but that's just real. That's how it really played out. You know, having a daughter and having a son, you really see the parallels and the differences. And for me, it was just harder to create a bond with a boy as compared to with two little girls that looked just like me and I felt were so pretty and I could dress up just like me. And, you know, it's just so many more comparatives between girls than with a boy. I always carried this burden with me, always feeling like I'm neglecting my son and he's not being loved as much as he could. I'm not doing as much as I do for my other kids for him. But it's just because, I don't know, I just felt like it was easier. And another thing about my son, which I always appreciated, my son, Mason, he's so patient. He's so appreciative. He's so understanding. I feel like I took advantage of that because he never got mad with me. He was never mean to his siblings. He loved his siblings. He was happy, but I just felt like that was him being strong. That was him coping with it. That was him being patient. But I just know, like, just thinking from his point of view, it had to feel like mommy, like, moved past. Mommy created this new family, and I don't really know quite where I fit in anymore. And so I decided that I wanted my son to be somewhere where he can have all the attention and love that he needed, because I just couldn't. It was too hard, you know? Not only was I balancing being a mother of 4 kids, I'm trying to have a career. I work a job. I battle with my own personal mental illnesses and depression. It's a lot. And, you know, I felt like if I had the opportunity to just save him, to just assure that he can get what he needs, I would be willing to sacrifice my selfishness of keeping him around just to say my son is with me, to make sure he had a better life, to make sure he was the primary attention, you know? Like, even now, you know, I still have my 3 kids. I feel like it's just hard managing multiple kids so close together. It's really hard. Like, I want to be there for this person, be there for that person. It's a lot. Like, everyone wants mommy, but there's only one mommy. And mommy only has but so much energy, because so many things in my life just steal my energy from me. So I often feel like my kids in general get neglected. But I felt like I owed so much to my son because I started off wrong. I started off wrong with my son. You can watch the story time on my channel. I was already in denial about who I had my child with. That I was lying to my son about who his father was just to make myself feel good. Just to prove to myself that I didn't fuck up like that. That I didn't let my ex who abused me, disrespected me, and ruined my life. Ruined my life. Not saying that my son ruined my life, because honestly, I'm so thankful I had Mason. And Mason really changed me as a person and is a part of why I am who I am today. So he didn't ruin my life at all, but Of course, my life could have been a lot better and different if I never had children at all. We're just being real. So me accepting the fact that my ex had got me pregnant was like, wow, I really let him win. That's how I felt. I felt like he won. He has solidified my life in a way that I can never change. So I already started off wrong. My son didn't realize who his father was until maybe he was 2, possibly 3. I'm not really sure when the DNA test and everything was done. It's kind of long ago in the past. But, you know, so when my son found out who his father was, he loved his dad. He enjoyed being with his father. And his father has never hurt or neglected my son in any type of way. He might have not been a good partner to me, but he is definitely a great father. And he continues to be a good father. So I'm thankful for that. But that was something I was also scared of too. I was like, do I really want this man to raise my kid? Like, after all the things he's done to me and the way he treated me, I'm like, this is not someone that would be a good dad. Like, I don't want my son around this monster. So I also was trying to protect my son, but a lot of the times you can be a bad person, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a bad parent, or not even a bad person. Like, I don't think my ex is a bad person. I just feel like we just wasn't supposed to be together. We just wasn't. Because I'm not perfect. And I did a lot of triggering things that even awakened the demons inside of him. I was not a good girlfriend. I was immature. I wasn't ready to be in a relationship, but I forced myself into one. And it was a mess. Like, you can watch some story times. I've talked about it plenty. I was not a good girlfriend to my ex. So what came to me, I guess, was my karma. It was really hurtful karma. He took things way too far. But that's what happens when you play with people's feelings in their heart. You don't do that, which I have learned. I have learned that karma is real, and what goes around will come around. Trust me, it comes around. And when it comes around, it don't feel good. But yeah, my son had an amazing relationship with his dad from the jump. He loved him. And it's just like, he knew, like, that bond, I feel like it's really pre-existing. Like, if you have a kid, you understand. It's just a certain feeling you have for this human that you only have for that human that is inside of you, because they are a part of you. Y'all literally are sharing blood. But, you know, his dad wasn't around a lot. His father's in the military, so he's been stationed in multiple different places. Never in the same state as me. So, you know, the closest he's been was like an hour away. That's the closest. It was still another state, but only an hour away, not that far. But, you know, my son was in school and things, so it was always like weekends. He'll get him on weekends, sparingly, holidays, share birthdays, you know. Never was like full-time daddy, because you just couldn't be. And, you know, a lot of the times when my son would come back from his father, I always seen a difference. Like, it's like he was no longer happy. He didn't want to be with me, or he didn't want to be here. I don't, you know, it's hard to take blame and say it was me exactly, but I noticed that my son was not happy. I noticed that my son preferred to be with his father. I know he probably felt like the world was his there. And a child should be able to feel like that. A child should be able to be doused with love and attention, which is something I cannot give to my son while trying to raise 3 of her kids. I just couldn't. So yeah, it always was in the talks, like, you know, would you want to have Mason full time? You know, his dad was never against it, but he was just trying to, you know, make sure when he made that decision that he was stable enough to be a full-time parent. So he finished the military, I believe, if not last year, maybe the year before he graduated. He's in school now, I believe. So that's more like on a good schedule. You know, him and my son, they both go to school. And yeah, he has them in the afternoon. That's another thing. So not only am I a full-time mother, I'm a full-time worker. So even my kids I have now, once again, I don't see my kids that often. I'm at work from 6 p.m. to midnight. Every day but Monday and Thursday. I don't even get weekends with my kids. When they're out of the school, I see them in the morning. And, you know, the mornings go by so fast. You wake up, you eat breakfast. Next thing you know, I'm getting ready for work. I'm at work. I don't see my kids again until the next day. And that's how it was with Mason. And back when I had Mason, I was working longer hours. I used to come in at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. My whole evening to this corporation. And my kids just don't see me. I don't see my kids. And even from the day Mason was born, literally a week later, I had to go to work. And that's when I was a single parent. Here, my mom and dad, it was helping, but only like the necessities. And I wanted more for my kid. I always wanted more. I wanted my kid to have the newest this, newest that. And yeah, you can say that shit's not important, but it means a lot to be able to say, mommy got you. Mommy can get you anything in the world you want. So I went back to work from the moment my son was a baby. I already did spend a lot of time with my son because I'm trying to make a way. It's really hard. Like, no one will understand it but a parent. The sacrifices you make and all the gravitational pulls from the universe and want you in this place and want you in that place and want you here, but you want to be there, but you want to do that, but you have to do this, but you got to do that. You can't do this without that, so you got to do this. It's a lot. It is insane being a parent. It is insane being a human being, period. Because you have to make all these choices, but while you're making one choice is a after effect of everything. You know, you need money to raise a child. How do you make money? You have to work. But work takes up your time. But you need to give time to your child. But you need that money in order to have the time for your child or to have stuff to do with your time. Nothing in life is free. I can't take you to this place, give you that experience, buy you this, get you that if I don't have the money. I can't do it. I can't. So anyone that has the luxury of working from home, staying at home, you got a rich partner, you don't have to work at all, shout out to y'all. Because in the real world, for real, normal, common people, it's not that easy. I have to make so many sacrifices. So much of my energy, like I said, is drained from me on a daily basis. I carry so much guilt and burdens on a daily basis. It's hard. It's really hard. It was an incident that occurred last year. Maybe it was September, possibly October. Not sure. But after that happened, that's when I realized, like, yeah, I can't do this. And I had to make that choice to say, I need help. And I can't get all the help I need, but I can at least help my child. So I spoke with his father, and I made my final decision that I want Mason to live with you. It's going to be better for him. It's what he needs. It's time. You know, it's time for you to get to know your son because you don't really know him. And what I'm living through now makes me kind of have some type of empathy for my child's father, because must have been what he was feeling like. All he could do was FaceTime, see him sparingly. But hey, at least he was seeing him. I haven't seen my son in a year. So at least you're seeing him, but I get it. It's not the same as being with your kid. And you know, he deserved to share these moments and bonds too. Like, he's not only my child, and we're not together, so we can't be together. Especially when I'm in a whole nother relationship, like, we can't be together. So the least I can do is share my child with the other person that I made him with. So yeah, on my son's birthday, he boarded a plane to Texas with his father. And here we are a year later. Haven't seen my son in a year. It's hard. I don't think about it daily, but I have these moments when I think about my son. Or if I'm with all my kids, you know, the elephant in the room for me is always someone's not here that should be here. Right now, the holidays are coming up. It's easy to plan gifts for my kids that live with me because I'm with you. I know what you like. You can tell me what you want. And then with my son, it's like, yeah, I call him, I ask him, and all this. It just feels so weird. It just feels so hard having this virtual relationship with your own child. It's weird. It's not what I'm used to. And it's hard. Like, I can't put presents under the tree for you because you can't open them. Yeah, you can send stuff off, and once again, it just don't feel the same. I don't want to ship a gift to you. I want to give it to you in your hand and see you open it and smile and be happy and give me a hug and tell me, Mommy, thank you. When I called my son this morning to say happy birthday, same icky feeling was inside of me. Like, this is weird. I used to wake you up and make you birthday pancakes since your first birthday. And then it was like, that tradition is gone. I do it with my other kids, but it started with him. Everything started with my firstborn, and now he's gone. And it's hard, you know. It's weird. Why haven't I visited my son? Well, plane tickets are expensive and not in my budget. And I don't have the time to plan the trip. I don't have the time to get him here and be able to actually once again give him the attention. I wouldn't want to spend money on a plane ticket, have my son here, and I can't be there for you. Like, I still have to go to work every day. It's still going to be distant. So, once again, I just make that sacrifice and accept that it's no time to be with him yet. And that's why I want to make it so bad. I mean, I've been wanting to make it because I've been wanting more for myself. But my son gives me this extra reason why I just like, gotta go harder. I gotta make more money. I gotta be able to have control over my life. I want to quit my 9 to 5 or my 6 to 12, whatever the fuck I have. Like, I don't want this life. Not only just for my firstborn, but for all my kids. Like, I want to be able to be mommy. I didn't have kids to spend all my life at a job. I had my kids to be their mother. And I can't do that the way I want to because I don't have the time. I could barely get time off from my job. And even then, if I take the time off, I'm sacrificing the money I'm bringing in. And I got to pay for these 4 kids. I'm not rich. But I want my kids to always feel rich. I don't want my kids to ever ask me for something I have to say no. I don't want my kids to ever see other kids with stuff that they could have too. That's me. That's the type of parent I am. My kids are the best. They'll have the best. They are the best. Mason is the best. You know, he's doing good. He's always been a very smart child since he was born. Like, I always knew, like, this boy is special. Like, in a good way. He's been smart. My son started talking at like 8 months. Knew his colors by the time he was 1. Potty trained before he was 2. Walking before he was 9 months. Like, my son always been super advanced, super smart, and he's still like that. My son can read. My son is 7 years old and can literally read. Like, and I know that comes from me, so it makes me proud to know that you got mommy's brain. My son is so much of me, and that's why I always knew he is strong enough to deal with this. My son has not only my brain, he has my strength and my heart. He is such a good person. He is so understanding. He is so respectful. All traits that he got from me. Because one thing about me, I understand. I'm so patient. I felt I was always patient and understanding of my own parents. And I never resented my own parents for things that have occurred in my life because I understood. And especially being a parent myself now, I totally understand everything. I get it. I get why parents do what they do. I get it. I understand now. Which has allowed me to have a newfound respect for my own mother because I get it. I understand. It's not easy. It's hard as hell. In this world, in this economy, being a parent is hard. To anyone that doesn't have kids, I promise you, don't have them. Like, seriously, think about your life before you have kids, because you need everything set out and prepared, or you're going to be making these sacrifices and it's going to be neglect. There's no way around it. And some people might not look at it as neglect, but it is. As a parent, you should be in your kids' life a lot more than I'm in my kids' lives. You should. I should not be spending most of my time at work. I shouldn't. You know, during the school time, they're at school, I'm home. When they come home, I'm at work. We don't see each other. That's not healthy. It's not good. My kids need me. I can't even do homework with my kids in the afternoon. I have to rush homework in over the weekend. You have a week worth of homework, and we're doing it on Saturday morning. That's not good. I don't like this. This is not how it should be. But yes, Mason is doing great. He's doing great in school. He's in the 1st grade. He's on a soccer team. He's won his game so far. He's great at soccer. I would never have known that. I couldn't put my son on a soccer team. I don't have the fucking time. Or the money. Shit. You know that they want you to pay for this equipment, that, this, that. I don't have it. I barely have what I have now, and I'm trying to make a way between me and 4 little humans. It's hard. It's really hard. But I'm glad his father just has Mason. But my son could finally get that attention and devotion that he never got from me. Never. I mean, never. I never had so much time invested into my son, ever. Like I said, I went back to work. My son was only a week old. And that was the start of everything, like just not being around. Now, I can't commend myself because, at least with my kids, the only thing that takes away from them is me working. But that, once again, is a depressing part for me. I don't like to hang out with people. I don't like to go out. And one of the primary reasons is my kids. I feel like, dang, how can I go out and have fun when I can barely do stuff with my kids? That's fucked up. What would it look like me going out, getting drunk all the time, and I'm barely being able to see my kid? Like, honestly, if I wanted to, when I get off from work, I could go out. I could come home at 3, 4 in the morning. I can. Like, I have free time that I could use for other people or friends and all that. But it's like, I don't want to do that. Because I can't do this with my kids. I can't take my kids out this time of night. I can't be out with my kids. My kids don't get my time. So once again, I'm sacrificing my own social life, my own happiness. I want to make music. I could be in a studio at night, but no, I can't do that to myself because I don't have the time for my kids. I could be making more content and doing this and that and the third when I don't have anything else to do. But I always tell myself it's not fair to my kids. I can't be everywhere at once. But what I did tell myself is, if I can't do for them, I shouldn't be doing for myself. I shouldn't be doing anything else. And I could put myself on a bench. I'm not going anywhere, God allowing. You know, my talents aren't leaving me ever, God allowing. You know, anything could happen. I could lose my voice or something. But I feel like when the time is ready, I'll have my moment. But right now, I'm trying my hardest to be the best parent I can. I have my youngest son. I'm already trying to make sure I learn how to be a mom to a boy. Which is still like, probably don't make any sense to y'all. But I don't give a fuck. It's different between girls and a boy. It's different. So I don't want him to ever feel like, oh, mommy likes the girls more. Mommy's doing this and that with the girls. I don't want that. I don't want him to feel separate either. Because even though they have the same father, there could still potentially be separation. I just don't want it. It's hard. It's a lot that goes through my mind all the time. For the smallest of things. Because at heart, I am a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. So I'm always overthinking. I'm always overanalyzing. I'm always just need everything to go right. I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't like hurting people. A part of me as a person is making sure everyone is good. And that's why it was hurting me so much, because I knew Mason wasn't good. And I didn't like that. But now that I know that he's good, there is a piece of peace with me. Whenever I call my son, it's always good news. He's always happy. He just looks rejoiced in a way that I didn't see when he was here. And that alone is enough for me to keep going every day and know I made the right decision. Of course, if it's not you, you're not going to get it. A lot of people, they question me. Why did you do it? How do you do it? Da da da. People might assume I don't care about my son, that I gave him away, or, you know, whatever people might think. I really don't give a fuck. Because I know I love the fuck out of my son, and that's why I made my decision. And that's why I'm at peace, because I know I'm doing what's right for my son. And being a parent is doing what's best for your child. Even if it hurts you, you do what's best for your child. It would be selfish of me to keep my child around just so I could have him around, knowing I wasn't even fucking around him. Knowing I was at work all the time. I want to be my best self so I can be the best mother. My kids can be the best that they can be. It is hard. But I know that I'm doing the right thing. I made the right decision. And eventually, I will see my son again. I know that when the time is right, it'll happen. That's why I'm going to keep working hard. And just being able to push myself to wider audiences. And eventually, like, you know, like I said, I just want control over my life. I've known from a long time that I'm bigger than the ordinary. I'm destined for more. And I just can't wait till it's in my hands. And I can share my story and my personality with the world. And I can repay my children. And I can do more for my children. Like, if I had the time, if I didn't have to work, I would sit and do things with my kids all day, even if it was making content. We could do videos. We could take trips. I would do it all if I had the time that allowed for it. I know it only goes up from here. I know I'm doing the right thing. Like I said, it's been a little hard for me around this time. His birthday, Thanksgiving just passed, and Thanksgiving was like the last event I shared with my son. So I've been emotional lately. Like I said, dealing with it on my own because no one gets it. No one gets it but me. And it's hard to make other people get it because they just can't get it. They're not going through, like, I don't know nobody else that is a long distance parent to the child. I don't know nobody like that. Everybody I know that has kids, they live with their kids. Shout out to you. No one gets it. So it's like, well, I try to make someone get it, but I did want to do this video just to get things off my chest and share with those who care what I have been dealing with the past year. And to anyone that probably was wondering but not bold enough to ask me, because of course you can notice that my son has not been around. Yeah, he's not around. He's still alive and healthy. He is handsome and successful. He's going to accomplish great things. And I'm proud to be his mother. I'm proud that he is my son. He has never let me down. But unfortunately, I've let him down. And I refuse to let him down ever again. So, every year I write a letter to my son on his birthday. And by the time he's 18, I will give him all these letters. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and write this letter for today, for the year. And just remind my son that I love him. Explain to him that mommy wanted you around, but I just couldn't have you around. So I had to send you where you would be loved and attended to. And I think he's going to understand that when he's older. Because I could have been selfish. I could have kept him here. Not being there for him. Having him feel separate. I could have did this for a long time. But instead, I chose my son. And as a parent, this is to any parent watching, always choose your kid. Do what's best for them. It's worth it. So, thank you guys for watching. Sorry this was all over the place. I got a lot of shit on my mind. Like, seriously. But I tried to make it somewhat cohesive. But, yeah. That was a lot. That was an emotional dump. Had to get it off my chest, you know. I could not physically move forward or do anything else with my time today without getting all that off my chest. I really couldn't. So thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And above all else, stay gorgeous. And happy birthday, Mason. I love you.